Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hive Mind. The leftist hive mind. You know what's the word of the day to describe the leftist hive mind? Bipolar. It's probably the best way to describe the up and down shift when it comes to the leftist hive mind. I guess we could say sense of confidence. One week, they are high, they are riding high, celebrating, chanting all over that it's over, game over. And the next week, utter panic, despair. Actually, let's just describe it through visual presentation, through meme presentation. You know the meme with the dad from The Incredibles? On the left, you have leftoids celebrating a couple weeks ago that Donald Trump is done and done for good. He's going to prison in an orange jumpsuit, shackled at the wrists and shackled at the ankles. It's over. A new leftist age is among us. Fast forward a week later, they've all become a bunch of panicking doomers, huh? Oh no, abort mission. Trump is winning. Yep, well, that's pretty much exactly what's going on here, folks. But especially the far left is starting to go through their usual pre-election panic. You know, the same thing they did ahead of the 2020 election, except I think this time it's probably going to be a little bit more serious, considering Joe Biden's a freaking vegetable and he's kind of losing in the polls. Alarm bells are ringing, leftists are screeching. In other words, we're getting closer to election season. We got some stuff to get into, so let's roll the tape. Alright friends, so far leftist Cenk Uygur, or maybe far leftist grifter Cenk Uygur, still not totally sure whether he's an actual genuine human being yet. But anyways, Cenk Uygur, supposedly speaking for progressives, is starting to get a little scared.
I'm tired of these guys. We're doing a petition. And so, look, the petition is get out. I put it a lot more politely than that because a lot of people love Joe Biden for whatever reason. They just think he's too old and he's going to lose. I 100% agree that he's going to lose. So we're doing a petition. President Biden, please drop out. And I put it very nicely. President Joe Biden has had a long and historied career in American government. He rescued us from the possibility of a second Trump term, and we appreciate his service to the country. But at this point in time, we must have a strong, healthy candidate to make sure we avoid a fascist takeover of our government, etc. tyt.com/petitions. So you could go to the campaigns/dropout in this case. Doesn't matter, we'll have the link down below if you're watching this on YouTube or Facebook.
So you guys noticed the obvious evolution here, right? The left went from celebrating that Donald Trump's career was over to now pretty much announcing that Donald Trump's gonna win the presidential election and Joe Biden's gonna lose. They went from glory to sorry in about half a second. When YouGov, the Wall Street Journal, and CNN are all showing that Donald Trump is winning, yeah, it's probably time to start panicking. It's probably time to start advocating for Plan B, which according to Cenk Uygur is literally anybody but sleepy, creepy, piss pants Biden. Cenk went on a little bit of a Twitter rant the other day, starting off by writing, "People think it's such a gotcha to say, name one person who would be better than Biden. Super easy. Literally every Democratic governor in the country. Would you like me to list all of their names, let alone people in Congress and outside of politics? Hashtag dropout. Genuine question. Do people really think there isn't a single Democrat in the country who could beat Trump other than Biden? Because the people who think that are accidentally saying that the party is in disastrous shape. I don't agree. I think almost any other Democrat wins easily. I'll say the thing that no one else is willing to say. Joe Biden is being intensely selfish by running again. He's putting his ego above the interest of his party and his country. Yeah, that's pretty much Joe Biden's entire political, let's call it image or ethos. Joe Biden has never put anybody's interest above his own. In fact, in Joe Biden's world, it seems like the only person who even exists, well, it's Joe Biden. That's why the man went to Maui after a devastating inferno and just talked about himself the whole time, rather than addressing the concerns of people who were suffering. Here's the last tweet from Cenk Uygur. He writes, Joe Biden says he is running for president again. So what? Why does every Democrat have to listen to him? Why is it assumed by everyone in Washington that dissent isn't allowed against someone in power? What a weird assumption. I don't agree. 2/3 of the Democrat voter base don't agree. Yeah, well, see, that's the thing, right? You leftist Democrat clowns who are constantly talking about democracy are part of a political party that is ruled by a political class or political establishment that makes decisions for you guys. You know, just like they do with your kids in school, those kids belong to the state. You don't have rights. When it comes to participating in the democratic process and choosing your political leader or party leader, yeah, you don't get to make that choice. The Democratic establishment makes that choice for you by suppressing information about possible other candidates, by blacklisting other candidates from donor cash and and Cash by muting their microphones during the debates, like we saw with Andrew Yang, and of course by not even hosting debates when there are a multitude of Democrats willing to challenge Joe Biden to be the Democrat Party nominee ahead of the next election. Not only RFK Jr., but actually there's a whole load of people who would love to run for president, but they can't because, well, there's no platform to do so. Yeah, you're learning just now that dissent isn't exactly allowed in the Democrat Party. I know the Democrats love to fearmonger about Vladimir Putin, and of course, by extension, Russia, but the way the democratic process works in the Democrat Party, well, is pretty similar to, I guess you could call it, a Soviet Union election, or democratic process in quotation marks. The elites get to choose, and everyone else is simply inundated with propaganda and is powerless to really make a difference, let's say. You know, it's such an interesting phenomenon. They call us crazy for years and years and years, and then they end up pretty much coming to the conclusion, or I guess coming to the same point that we've been saying for, Lord knows how long. The defund the police thing. Now, in New York City with the migrant crisis thing. Now, all of a sudden, they realize that the current system is unsustainable. Now they realize that Joe Biden is a friggin' vegetable. Now they realize that Trump's maybe a little bit more electable than they thought initially. Now it seems like they realize that Joe Biden's main campaign talking point isn't exactly cutting it. Here's far leftist Nina Turner, basically in line with the TYT, tweeting this the other day. Telling people the economy is great when they can't afford rent and groceries is counterproductive. Yeah, you think? After the last 3 years of celebrating Joe Biden's tremendous success on the economy and pushing nonsense copium argument one after another, now all of a sudden you realize that it's not working. This just shows exactly who they are. They take their stances based on polling data. If polling data was suggesting that up to 65% of the American populace was supportive of Joe Biden's economic policies and thought that Bidenomics was working, I still probably would have the same view. It's called intellectual consistency and honesty. But it seems like with Democrats, even if they know something is not working, well, as long as the polling data suggests that the talking point is working, and Joe Biden's approval rating and Joe Biden's head-to-head polling data is on the up, as long as it seems that they're politically benefiting from promoting nonsense garbage propaganda, well, they'll fall in line. And then the moment that it switches, then all of a sudden, oh, it's not working anymore. It's a level of intellectual dishonesty that's just abhorrent, to be completely honest with you. And of course, the cognitive dissonance on many of these issues, it's the same kind of thing. The way they're willing to campaign on lies, the way they're willing to rely on propaganda rather than facts, to promote narratives and to build narratives, even if they're incorrect, as long as it seems to be benefiting them, it's truly just astonishing. The last 2.5 years, Joe was doing a great job on the economy. In fact, Donald Trump was the one who was failing on economics. Look at the jobs data, they tell you. Then they link the most ridiculous, manipulated data, cherry-picked data you could possibly imagine. And now it seems like the tone is shifting a little bit, at least in the primary process. Trust me, when general election comes and they realize that there is no chance they're stopping Joe Biden and he is not going to drop out of the race, well then all of a sudden, all of these same clowns, look, mark my words, this Nina Turner person who's now telling us that Joe Biden's economy is shit, I guarantee you Nina Turner is going to be praising Bidenomics and Joe Biden's amazing economic recovery throughout the entire election season if she has to, and Cenk is going to do the same damn thing. They're not so confident after all, huh? It went from Donald Trump is done, Donald Trump's going to be in prison, Donald Trump's time is over, he's the least popular politician, he's a con man, he's done, he's going to be in prison for life. It went from that to holy crap, Trump's going to win, Joe Biden needs to drop out of the race now. And that's why the word of the day is bipolar. That's what I got for you guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and possibly subscribe to the channel because of course we'd love to have you here. Thanks for watching and I'll see you on the next one.